puts us in the right mood. A meal with us and you'll be well fed, like eating your grandma's food. 'Cause it's home cooked, come take a look at the cake in the oven. We'll be laughing and loving, taking time and chopping time, making a story stew. The dinner bell's about to chime, we're just waiting for you. 'Cause it's home cooked by the recipe book, sitting by the fire with the chicken in the fryer.
Sam, did you remember to take the chicken?
'Cause it's home cooked.
A Feast with Sam and Julia.
What was in your lunch growing up?
The thing that was in my lunch growing up was Lunchables and only Lunchables.
A sandwich.
What
like
kind?
ham and cheese, turkey and cheese.
It was always like a turkey and cheese sandwich.
White bread with the crust cut off and like lunch meat ham. And nothing else could be in that or else I wouldn't eat it.
So either a ham and butter sandwich, or I went through a really long phase of I just have a poached chicken breast every lunch. Just like a little poached chicken breast.
I would pack a Hot Pocket. I just had a ham and cheese Hot Pocket, and that wasn't even a struggle meal. Like, I really thought I was looking forward to my Hot Pocket every day. I would wake up right before practice, shower, grab a Hot Pocket, and I knew I was gonna have a great day.
This is Sam. Sam is a child of the early 2000s. Sam's sad. Why are you sad, Sam?
I don't know what to put in my lunch.
Well, what are you in the mood for?
I mean, I want to eat something healthy.
Why don't you try a cutie?
Huh. I guess.
That's not how you eat a cutie.
Oh, boy. Do you have any other choices?
Well, why don't you try one of these?
Wow, so many options. I guess I'll start with the...
Sam, respect the pouch. That's okay, Sam. You're learning.
Wait, are you sure this is all healthy?
Yes, it's all part of this complete balanced meal.
Nice!
Don't be like Sam.
What meal do you look forward to when you go home?
Chicken adobo.
Or gumbo or chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and rice.
Brecas. Yeah, some good brecas.
My mom's pasta.
Who was the last family member that you cooked with?
The last family member I cooked with was my brother. We made Ina Garten's perfect chocolate cake. It was pretty good. It was really good.
Not perfect though.
Well, I don't know if we made it perfectly, But it tasted great, so it didn't matter.
Hey everybody, my name is Khadija Bangora and I want to share a recipe with you, but it's not just food, it's a story. The ritual that has begun in my Alston apartment is dinner. My roommates, we stuck inside, we revolving around each other and our Zoom calls. The way we show each other that we love each other is by making dinner together. Sometimes I'll cook, or Matan, Liana, Irion will cook. We'll cook together. Two of us will cook. We'll take turns. We gather ingredients in grateful abundance, and this is the way we show each other that we love each other. We indulge in our desires. Our dinners are getting better and better. I count on this, even on stolen land, even in frozen time. A bit ago, I had the opportunity to escape to another land, the one called Burlington. The warmth of family, memory, and my dad's West African dishes never fails to destroy my mental state. Nostalgia is pungent, each lost emotion passing through my body like gas. Yeah, I get home and my parents are very paranoid about COVID, as they should be, they're being safe. So my dad's like, don't touch me, you have corona. And I'm like, no, I just got tested, I really don't have it. And he pats me on the back and he's like, I'm making KK, which is basically saying I love you, because the way me and my dad share our love has always been through either food, music, or dance. So when he tells me to come watch him cook KK in the kitchen, I'm ready with my notepad. I want to master what is already in his blood. Ancestral taste buds. Assessing this dish, the chopped tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions tossed with Maggi, the fried fish and plantains, the ground cassava, it is so West African. I picture my dad in Guinea, because I've never been there, just eating this and giddy from the freshness of the fish with my uncles and my cousins that I've never met. So I eat the huge plate he serves me with my hands. When I get back to Alston, I cannot wait to tell my roommates about the new food story that I've discovered or re-remembered. We are always on a hunt for new flavors, and I know they've never tasted anything like KK before, so it's really gonna be a game changer, and I'm so excited. So I take a bus all the way to Roxbury for KK. A 25-minute ride in Boston seems far, but I romanticize the silence. I get off the bus where the street signs change from Harvard Street to Tremont to Malcolm X Boulevard at Shawmut Avenue. The faces change too. So this is where the Black people live. The woman at the African market knows exactly what I need, and I'm like, Auntie, so desperate for cultural connection that I basically embarrass myself. However, I am her people. How can I make it known? She even has the deep freezer all Africans have, the one just for the meats. I secure the KK, and I also purchase palm oil, pepper, goat meat, and cassava leaves, having been talked into most of these purchases by Auntie. I feel so validated by this African market 3 miles away from my house. And even though my headphones are broken on the bus ride home, I can hear music. Once back in my kitchen, I attempt to fry a whole red snapper and my pot isn't big enough. Who am I kidding? I will never be the cook my father is. Never know his hands, his taste buds, never earn his memories. My recipes are just imitations of his, something that is cultural and second nature to him, but will always be not second nature to me. I'm first generation, but I feel like I'm in last place. look down at my hands, and yes, I burn myself with oil like I do whenever I try to fry something. Everything smells like fish now, and I'm back home. Dinner's ready! Once I finish explaining myself, telling the story of this plate, we devour together. We eat with all of our senses.
What ingredient do you add to everything?
Garlic.
Garlic.
Garlic. Garlic salt.
Ooh, I think I put garlic in everything. I also think I put chili powder in everything.
It's always gonna be garlic powder, or it's always gonna be like cayenne pepper. Salt. I am my father's daughter.
Salt. Salt, but I really like fancy sea salt. Like I really like chunky, like Malton sea salt.
Salt.
Damn right.
Humans are so jumpy. It's like, chill. What, are only humans allowed to walk down the street?
I know. They're always like, what you got there?
Day old sushi from Wappa.
Oh, where'd you snag it?
Dumpster.
But I looked in that dumpster at closing.
Closing is a fool's game. You can't look then. You have so much to learn.
Well, I found this.
Holy.
I know. Amelia's. Full burrito. They made double. And guess this. Wrapper on.
How'd you get it here?
Rolled it.
Can I have some?
No way. You're not getting your paws on my burrito.
Tradesies?
Finders keepers.
What did you just say?
I said finders keepers. Dick! You ruined my burrito! Now what am I supposed to eat?
We could try it. Oh, you gotta try this.
No way, I hate fusion.
Come on. Did you ever hear back from the Ratatousical people?
No, I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming they went with humans. It's just like, why do I even have this BFA, you know?
Whoa,
Whoa!
jeez!
Honestly. Like, no manners these days.
Can you please build your perfect sandwich?
Yes, it would be a club sandwich. It would have whole wheat bread, a fried egg, avocado, and I don't know, any kind of meat inside, but it has to have those things. It would be the best.
It's toast of some kind or a rice cake. I like the crunch. And everyone makes fun of me. I like the crunch or rice cake with cottage cheese and smoked salmon. That's it.
Like BLT, I think, is my go-to.
Sourdough bread, a little bit of toasted, like put some butter on it, toast it. And then some goat cheese smeared on both things of bread. Some sausage, I used some plant-based sausage that was really good, cut it up and put it on there. And then you also take some arugula with balsamic and oil and you mix it up, put it on there, and then tomatoes as well.
My husband Mark is what you might call a foodie. Before that, he was a chow hound, and he'd make us drive all over town looking for taco stands. And I'm not talking these fancy taco trucks that are all trendy these days. I'm talking some guy on a street corner at 2 a.m. frying head cheese in an aluminum tray over a hot plate. But somewhere along the way, he became a foodie because Mark, who never really had any real prospects. I mean, he was a philosophy major, for God's sake. Well, he came into some money. Well, a lot of money. And so I guess both of us, because by that point we were married, became something close to rich. He became a food tourist. We didn't go to San Francisco. We'd go to Yountville. We'd go to Portland because some guy was doing incredible things with pheasant. I mean, we went to El Bulli before it closed 3 times. Who goes to El Bulli 3 times? Do you know how bad that road is? But this was Mark's passion, and he was not the only one. Everywhere we went, we would find them. Couples just like us, well-kept, who had a bit more money than they knew what to do with. People well-versed in sous vide and molecular gastronomy who traded tips on where to get cheese from unpasteurized milk from France and which butchers made the best prosciutto. Maybe the fact was we were hungry. We were hungry for something that tasted really good. And when we had that, we were hungry for something that tasted great. And on it went until we had to have something exquisite, something we'd never had before. We demanded the sublime on a platter. And we ate everything that was set down before us. I mean, if a chef had plated John the Baptist's head, I'm sure we would have eaten that too. And so after some time of this gastronomic gallivanting, I get a call from my parents. And what they do is they both get on, so they sort of tag team you. And my mom gets on, or my mom says to me, "Your father has something to tell you." And my dad says he has cancer and it doesn't look good. And they're going to send him into surgery right away and they want me to be there before he goes in. So I say, of course. And Mark and I get on the first plane out. And when I get home, I find my dad cleaning the garage. That's just the kind of guy he was. He was part of that generation, you know, the one, they're frugal, they're hardworking, they're better people, basically, than us. After he cleans out the garage, we go inside and my mom makes dinner. And we eat quietly. No one really knows what to say. Well, except my dad tells us to have a kid. And a part of me was thinking, well, maybe it feels kind of wrong to use this opportunity, but how can I refuse him? So I say, yeah, Dad, we will. Eventually we go to sleep. We're sleeping in my old bedroom upstairs, and then I wake up because I smell something. Not fire, not smoke. I smell melted butter frying in a pan. And this smell pulls me out of my room, down the stairs, and into the kitchen, where I find my father cooking. He's taking this small loaf of Italian bread that he sliced in half and laying it down in the browning butter. So the bread is now half toasting, half frying. And in another pan, he's got slices of pastrami, not cooking, but browning. So it's nice and hot. And he sees me come down and he doesn't say a word. I don't either. I just sit down and watch him. He used to make these sandwiches when I was a kid. Where he worked, there was this sandwich place that made these hot pastrami sandwiches, and it closed down or something, and he loved these sandwiches so much that he figured out how to make them himself. And he went to every grocery store trying to find the right bread, the right meat, because it's a very simple sandwich. There are only 2 ingredients, so both of them had to be perfect. And as a kid, I would watch him making these sandwiches. So when the bread is done, he puts it on a plate and he piles on heaps of pastrami, and he makes the sandwich and sets it before me. And he looks at me and I look at him, and the sandwich sits there between us like a letter, like a contract addressed only to me. And I eat it. An explosion of hot, buttery bread and meat, crispy on the edges, the pepperiness of the pastrami in sharp contrast to the golden, almost fried crumb, the perfect savoriness of salt and fat, and the bread crust shatters a bit in my mouth. It is delicious. It's the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. Now, I don't know about memory. It occurs to me now as I tell the story that you're not supposed to eat before you go into surgery, are you? But I remember it all so clearly. The kitchen, the smell. I feel like I could look down and see the crumbs on my chest. The next day, my father went into surgery, and he came out of it okay, but the following chemo killed his taste buds. He could never really enjoy food again after that. His remission lasted 3 years. After he died, I remember cleaning out the fridge for my mom, and it was full of potatoes and frozen vegetables. That's all he ate at the end. Mark and I did end up having a kid, and we stopped being tourists for food. Eating changed for us. We ate at home. We ate simply. That old life just didn't make sense anymore. Every once in a while, I still feel that old stirring, that old hunger. What I want is a restaurant that's going to give me Los Angeles 1982. The essence of hot buttered bread and pastrami. I'm 8 years old and my father is young. We're going to keep eating sandwiches together forever. And he, like me, is never going to die. We were empty once, but now we're full. And I'll never eat anything so good again in my life.
Baking bread and breaking bread puts us in the right mood. Kneel with us and you'll be well fed, like eating your grandma's food. 'Cause it's home cooked, come take a look at the cake in the oven. We'll be laughing and loving, taking time and chopping time, making a story stew. The dinner bell's about to chime, we're just waiting